Welcome everyone to the Tactical Tavern. My name is Tomas Alas, and in this video we are going over hiking essentials. We're also going to go over some tips and tricks and how to carry gear to ensure that when you go into the outdoors, you're going to have a great and safe time. First up is the right clothing. I recommend starting off with a dry wicking base layer. On top of that, you can easily add a thin wool layer for warmth and top it off with a slicker or Gore-Tex, which is still breathable yet waterproof. Next up is the right boots. Hiking is all about your footwear, and you want to make sure that your boots are broken in before you hit the trail. If you go out to the store, put on a fresh pair of boots and go for a 10-mile hike, your feet are more than likely going to be covered in blisters and cramps. I've seen it happen all the time with scouts. What I recommend is weeks before you go out to the trip, start breaking them in around the house, going for walks. That way, your boots are already going to know your feet and you're going to know how they're going to perform when hiking the trail. Investing in high quality hiking shoes will give you years of use and you should get lots of wear and tear out of them. Next up, and often overlooked, is sun protection. Not only great sunscreen with a high SPF rating, but also sunglasses and a hat. It's easy to get distracted while hiking down the trail, and you want to make sure you're covering your bases and keeping that sun out of your eyes. If you're going into a snowy environment, you also want to make sure you have sunscreen because that sun is going to reflect off the snow. Sunglasses are a must in those environments as well. Next up is a good first aid kit. Besides the basic first aid kit, I always recommend carrying chest seals and tourniquets. You never know what could happen, and when you're far out on the trail, you're your own first responder. Next up is signaling or rescue devices. Similar to the first aid, having these items is a no-brainer. You never know when you might slip down the trail and fall and need to get rescued, so having a signal mirror, some glow sticks, and even fire starting capabilities are great. I love glow sticks. At night, you can tie them to a string and whirl them around and get attention from aircrafts above. I also really love glow sticks because you can cut them and use them as small trail markers in the night. It's not always you that you have to keep in mind. You may encounter other people who are in great need of help and need to make a phone call on a satellite phone or just get some help. When hiking in the mountains, the weather can change instantly, even if you planned ahead. If you get caught out in the storm, you want to make sure that you're able to stay dry and warm for extended periods of time, even if you didn't plan on it. I recommend carrying around a micro tarp or emergency survival blankets, which are not only great for making shelters, but also for just staying warm. Along the theme of shelter building, I highly recommend hiking and camping around with paracord, as well as some basic knot skills that are going to be able to easily allow you to set up shelter. One of my personal favorite items is a knife. Having a knife while hiking in the outdoors is utmost important. It's going to be able to allow you to make the shelter, create dry firewood, and perform first aid. You can go with a small folding knife, a large fixed blade, and even a multi-tool. All of those are great options, and sometimes having more than one choice is another good idea. Next up is navigation. Having multiple and redundant sources of navigation is always good. The map and compass, saving directions on your phone, and having portable charging capabilities, it's easy to get distracted or take the wrong turn and then left in the middle of nowhere. Having map skills, being able to identify and use a compass is great to knock your way back on trail before dusk. Along that same note, sharing your itinerary with someone else is extremely important. That way, in case you take a tumble and you're not back at your certain time, they know we should probably start sending some help. Next up is fire making capabilities. I always recommend carrying at least 3 ways to make fire, such as matches, a lighter, and even a ferro rod. Not only is it great for keeping warm or keeping predators at bay, but you can also sterilize water. And that brings me to my last point, which is extra food and water. Life straws, iodine tablets, and even the ability to boil water is always a good idea. It's recommended you have at least 2 ways to get water. I always carry a camel bag and a metal canteen, not the plastic. That way you can actually use it to boil. It's always good to have a couple of coffee filters to strain out any of those loose particles, as well as a way to kill that bacteria in the water. Boiling is going to be your safest bet, but it's always good to have some water tablets or even a life straw if you come across a stream. Making a checklist before you go out and following these tips is going to help you have fun and have the peace of mind that no matter what happens, you're going to be prepared for the trail. All right, everyone, that wraps up this video on hiking essentials. If there's anything I missed, make sure to drop it down in the comment section down below because I enjoy hearing your feedback. Also, make sure to leave a like and subscribe because it helps support the channel. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss money-saving reviews and videos coming every Tuesdays and Thursdays. With that being said, my name is Tomas Alas. I will see you in the next video. And remember, be prepared, be practical, stay tactical.